The Vancouver Canucks make multiple changes to their coaching staff, including signing Yogi Svejkovsky as an assistant coach, promoting Henrik and Daniel Sedin to a higher role, and we get an update on Ian Cole heading into free agency. We'll hop into this later on this episode, but before we start, I just want to give a shout out to the 2,478 of you guys. We're so close to 2,500, so if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to go down and hit that subscribe button. We'll be here all season long, giving you updates from all around the Canucks, including prospects, coaching changes, anything you can think of. So hit the subscribe button, is completely free. But with that, let's hop straight into the first topic today, which is the Canucks make coaching changes. So we did see from Twitter today that the Vancouver Canucks tweeted out that general manager Patrik Allvin announced coaching staff changes. Yogi Svejkovsky, I'm so sorry if I'm pronouncing this wrong, I'm from Newfoundland and we're not known for pronouncing things right, but Yogi was promoted to the assistant coach of the Canucks. Daniel and Henrik Sedin will be involved in the coaching activities in both Vancouver and Abbotsford. Now we did get a quote from Allvin. After exploring all of our options, it's become very clear quickly that the best candidate was already in the organization. The ability to promote someone within will help us in the transition, and Yogi has a great understanding of our system and the way we want to play. Including the Sedins and more of our day-to-day coaching duties will be heavily beneficial to our group both on and off the ice. Both Daniel and Henrik bring a very unique perspective and competitiveness mind to our coaching staff. Now, obviously, we did see the coaching changes. We did see more changes. Obviously, Mike Yeo left to join the Ottawa Senators. We see Manny Malhotra join Abbotsford. So they're slowly building up this new and improved, I guess you could say, coaching staff. With Yogi coming in and Yeo leaving, or Yeo, we thought that he would be going in as the PK guy, but it seems that he will be taking over the power play duties, and Tocchet's going to be helping mentor that as well. And Griffin, what's your thoughts on this changes for the coaching staff?
I think it's nice to see some coaching changes, especially in an offseason where there's going to be a lot of players potentially moving around and some lineup changes. Having some coaching changes that aren't too drastic as far as keeping it within the organization, promoting Svejkovsky from within their organization is something that Allvin was clearly very happy about. And as someone who knows the system, it's great when you can bring a guy up who knows the system very well. We've seen it work in every other sport where guys who know the system and they work up through that system, they can work their way to the top if they really wanted to, or go to the top of another organization, which hopefully it doesn't happen with us. We want to keep a key core of staff involved to grow this Vancouver Canucks team as we're seeing the new version of it during the Rick Tocchet era. And I love that the Sedins are going to be more involved. I think it's going to be great for player development like Elias Pettersson. If we can keep Elias Lindholm, I think it'll be great for him. And it'll just be nice to have those Hall of Fame presence around the arena and in the organization, especially with the help that they're doing with Abbotsford. I think those young kids could definitely benefit from having somebody from having two guys like the Sedins who have the experience. They're Hall of Famers. They're all-timers for the Canucks. So I think it'll be great for the AHL prospects and the NHL guys to really benefit from more heavily involvement from the Sedins.
And the nice thing is, too, is getting someone in to more run this power play. Yogi should be able to help. Obviously, the Canucks really struggled in the playoffs for sure with the power play, so maybe a new look on this will help. A lot of people don't know Yogi actually was drafted 17th overall in 1996 by the Washington Capitals, so he does have NHL experience as well. But just looking at what he was doing before taking over as assistant coach, he was working with the Canucks as a skill coach, developing both players in Vancouver and Abbotsford. He joined the Canucks from the Delta Hockey Academy, where he served as the head coach of the U17 prep team. You can see he worked as a skills coach with the Vancouver Giants in the WHL from 2006 all the way to 2018, and served as director of hockey operations in a minor hockey association from 2009 and 14. He's from the Czech Republic. He had 42 points in 113 career NHL games with the Capitals and Tampa Bay Lightning, and he won an award for the AHL's most outstanding rookie in 1996-97. So just having more talent added to this roster is going to be great for the Canucks. You also have guys like Sergei Gonchar within this organization to help develop players as well. It's too bad Alex Burrows couldn't join the staff, because that would just be outstanding to have the Sedins and Burrows within this group. But we also did get more quotes. Since I arrived in Vancouver, I've been very impressed with Yogi's work ethic and willingness to do anything and everything to help us become a better team, said Rick Tocchet. Daniel and Henrik have also had a seat at the table, and I've leaned on them more and more as the years went on. Their knowledge and ability to teach the game is a huge plus, and they fit in extremely well with our group. So just having, like we were saying, all these guys within the organization, Rick Tocchet, a former player, Yogi, a former player, Henrik and Daniel Sedin, who are Hall of Famers, having these guys with this group, especially with a group full of a lot of people from Europe, it's nice to have someone that players can look up to. But what's your guys' thoughts on this signing? Do you think the Canucks are done with just filling out the coaching staff and everything else? Let us know down in the comments. But with that, let's hop straight into the second topic today, which is Ian Cole to test the market. Now, we did get reports today that Ian Cole, who's 35, believes the market is for his services is still there. He's a UFA and he desires to remain here. He was saying with Czech TV reported that he was expected to test the open market beginning July 1st. And first off, before I really get into a bunch of quotes and everything by this, I don't want to sound mean, but I will drive him to the airport if he does need a ride. Obviously, Ian Cole's time on the Canucks weren't a fan favorite. And Griffin, what's your thoughts on him wanting to test the open market?
I say let him. I think he scored more goals for Edmonton than PD scored in the entire postseason. So I think he has been a liability for Vancouver. Unfortunately, it is sad to see after his tenure with Vancouver that it's going to come to an end the way it is. But it is going to be something beneficial for Vancouver, I think, going forward. Yes, he is a bigger body guy that was able to kind of ruffle some feathers like Zadorov is, but I think letting a guy like that go who has proven to be a liability, especially in the postseason, I think it's just a formality where he was just on there just to kind of make his press rounds and kind of hype up his own free agency. So I think that was a good move on his part. But I think Vancouver is better off moving forward without him. It'll free up some dead weight. It'll free up some cap space to go get somebody who won't be a liability in the postseason and just in the season in general.
Yeah, because the big thing is Ian Cole was a guy that came into this Canucks team, and I was actually quite excited for him. He brings NHL experience. He was a veteran. He had the most playoff games by anyone on this roster. Obviously, it didn't work out for the Canucks, and like you said, he wasn't really that playable versus the Edmonton Oilers. But we do get some quotes from Ian Cole as well. I would love to be back. A great team, fantastic group of guys, and there's a foundation here to build off of. It's something I love to be a part of. Now, obviously, this came at the year-end address when they were just taking questions from the media. He continues on, as a whole, it was much more successful than anyone was going to give us credit for. It was a lot of fun, and we've learned a lot as a team and matured quite a bit. The biggest thing with this is even with Ian Cole becoming a UFA, and people might want him back, people might not want him back. There's so many free agent players within this organization. Ian Cole, Mark Freeman, Tyler Myers, Nikita Zadorov, Hronek are just the name, the defenseman. Obviously, Cole doesn't want to take a really cheap deal. He has no reason to take a team-friendly deal. So with him moving on, he'll get paid more somewhere else. He will be serviceable for another team, but I think he's going in a different direction than the Canucks can afford. And Griffin, with this group here, would you rather see any of these guys come back over Ian Cole?
Tyler Myers, I think for sure. I think a lot of some fans, they might not want to see him back, but I think like we said before, how he was able to contain McDavid in the playoffs. I think he's someone who could continue to be that shutdown defenseman where he's not going to get a lot of hits, but because of his length, he's going to be able to contain guys where they're not going to be able to make explosive plays. And I think we're going to see a lot of shakeup within this Vancouver Canucks defensive roster and the defensive lines. I think because there's so many UFAs and there's so many high asking prices and there's other moves that they could potentially make to better benefit the team. We saw in the year-end address how there was maybe some players who might not want to be there as much. Well, not be there, but they maybe seem to be expecting to be shipped out like Hronek. And with Ian Cole maybe just doing that to save face as well. Those guys might be already expected to be out the door. So with that happening, I think that we're going to see a lot of shakeup within the Vancouver defensive core. And with that, I think keeping a guy like Tyler Myers is a very key point to continue playing with Quinn Hughes and to have the hometown kid on the team just to have a bit more boost to the team.
Yeah, and the big thing is when you do really look at this, on the left side alone, Quinn Hughes is on the left side, Carson Soucy is on the left side, and then bringing back Ian Cole, you still have Zadorov as a guy that's on the left side. So if you take Ian Cole out, you already have your three guys to play the left side. You need to pick up another right-handed defenseman, even though Juleson was great, and I'd love to see him back on this team, but he just doesn't fit what the current Canucks roster is going to pan out to be. What would you guys' thoughts on Ian Cole? Would you like to see him back? What other free agents do you want us to cover, and who do you think would be back, and who would you want back? Let us know down in the comments, but speaking on comments, let's hop into everyone's favorite topic, comment of the day. And the comment of the day comes from Dave. He says, losing Joshua would be a mistake. Simple as that. Dave, Couldn't agree with you anymore, and I think Griffen feels the exact same. Dakota Joshua's a guy I really want back. There's a lot of teams rumored to be in on him, so hopefully the Canucks can get something done, get this guy back. Him and Garland and whoever they played with looked like one of the best lines in hockey, and especially one of the best third lines, so getting them back is a big piece that the Canucks need to do. But that'd be it for this episode of Canucks Digest. If you enjoyed this episode and you want to leave a comment, you could be featured as the next comment of the day, just like our good friend Dave did today. And while you're down there, leave a like, subscribe, share this with your friends. We'll be back tomorrow or maybe even tonight with another episode, so keep an eye out for that. But I've been your host, Mark, with my co-host Griffen. Take care.